able to pick up some players of I almost said UMN. Purdue now. That's who we're facing. So George Mason down one member. Might back it up here, but we aren't giving the point just yet. Okay, there it is. Matthew forced to back off. We're down another member. It's time to get out or give ult charge. George Mason going down. Our first fight loss. Our first fight loss on Oasis. That's a mouthful. Tuo's going to switch over to the McCree here. An obvious counter to the Echo and Tracer. Try to get some poke damage here. Echo doesn't do too much of that except with sticky bombs. And then landing on George Mason as they enter in for their second fight. Oh. One saw it. Tracer in the back line. There's the window out. No one down on either side yet. It's going to be Gunfighter with the rally. They have the Nano Brig coming in. That's really scary. All right, 2-0 forced to rotate back down to help out with the team. Oh, it wasn't a Nano Brig. They don't have a... It was the Echo that copied the Brig. My bad. Either way, George Mason going down here. It's only a matter of time. Lost too many members. So that's 2 fights, and we're down to 50%. Traditionally, George Mason has been pretty good about getting into those fights quick, but the time we spent in that fight took a pretty long time. Early Bird's going to opt to go over to the Moira here. I think that's the play here. It's going to be a little bit safer into the dive comp, but we do have a lot of ultimates online. It's going to be the pool, Graviton Surge, and a Blade. So we'll watch this pool. It's all up on this. Doesn't get eaten. There's the Graviton Surge, and here's the Blade as well. No picks yet for George Mason. This isn't looking too great. It looks like they properly zoned each of the ults. So 2 ults committed by George Mason. No one's down yet. It's the anti-nade that picks up Gunfighter. However, Tua gets a pick for himself. It's the High Noon. Gets the pick he needs on Echo, so DPS down for Purdue. However, just not enough members are up for George Mason. And we are going to get a taste of our own medicine. 100-0 on the first map. But don't sweat it. George Mason just took a quick break here between maps, or between matches. 5 p.m. we had a swift 3-0 victory against UMN, their B team, the Burrito Bandits. That's University of Minnesota, for those unaware. And at 3, we had a 3-1. Who was that against? McMaster's University. Transitioning over here to Oasis University. We've only played this once today. It was a loss against McMaster's. Brawl is a little bit difficult, or sorry, Spam's a little bit difficult to run here. A lot of teams do run Brawl, and the map kind of favors it. However, we have some answers to that. It's Jackson over on the McCree, and guess what? It's the Torbjorn. Back out for 2-0. Let's see how we approach this point. They're running the Brawl. It's a double shield, though. So Orisa makes it not full Brawl. We're on the flank. 2-0 getting the damage he needs. He's spotted by the enemy team. He's forced to back up. But Opio is here to peel as well. Getting a nice heal, bouncing off the walls. They're going to get the objective unless Matthew gets on the point. He's going to opt. It's too dangerous to walk on. We're going to give him the point. No one's down yet. Shatter blocked by Fortify. Jackson getting a pick on the McCree. It's 2-0. He's going in. Those Torbjorn right clicks hurt a lot more than you'd think. They are shotguns. It's a coalescence forced by Purdue, but they do not win the fight. Only 20% lost for George Mason, but because you win the fight, you're up in ults. I don't think we used any in that fight. Coalescence, sorry. So coalescences were matched, but they also used a shatter. So we're closer to Bongo than they are to shatter. I guess they have it in Ursa as well. Should compare it to Sigma's on our team. That's the difference. Closer to Sigma ult than we are to shatter. Missed the flame strike heat, but that's okay. Maybe it's used for more important things. That is a pull into the Torbjorn ult. Very scary. We have to pick out this Reaper in the back line. So 2-0 up. 2 picks in the fight. Make that 3 for Opio. George Mason has numbers advantage in this fight. Just a few members of Purdue to be cleaned up on the point. Tracer was the last one there. George Mason, 2 fight victories. We're at 50%. And we still have ults. The only thing used there was a pool, I guess a rally, as well as the Torbjorn ult. Pool isn't an ult, but very important combo. 2-0 falls into the pit. This is not looking good. However, we do have the Sigma ult. It's the lamp that needs to be taken down. It is taken down by Matthew. Opio is on the front line, not afraid of anything at all, for that matter. Gunfighter, gotta help him get the picks here. Jackson gets the last one here on Ashe. We're coming back. Jackson, did I say 2-0 fell? It was McCree. 2-0's been playing McCree earlier, guys. Give me a break. So we got the high noon. Everything combos with the pool. Matthew needs to get back here. There's the pool. Not opting to high noon just yet. There's the enemy bongo. If we commit here, we could win it. But it's going to be Jackson taken down by good priority focus on Purdue, but it's not going to be enough, despite their knowledge of who has the ultimates on George Mason here. It just didn't matter. Getting through the choke was such an issue for Purdue that George Mason was able to take advantage of that and stop them right in their tracks. So it looks like, as it turns out, Spam, when they have the point and don't need to move, they have a strict advantage on the point. So that looks like it's going to be George Mason's win con. It looks like we're going to opt to stay on the same comp. So we're going to get sped out briefly. Normally we use a sim teleport here to get out a little bit faster. This will give us a little push we need. Gunfighter on the Lucio real quick. Really poke damage for Jackson. 7% to his ult. It's not nothing. Maybe it matters. They're still on the Echo. They're on dive back again. So this is an issue for Brawl, like I said earlier, but we do have the Torbjorn, which is quite annoying for Echo if it can't be taken out. Not that it's too hard with stickies. Ooh, that's a good stun for Jackson. Getting in a lot of damage with the right clicks, but there's a Tracer in the backline he needs to deal with. The turret is down for 2-0. It's going to be back up in a second. He's going to opt to throw it to harass out the Tracer. Gunfighter's there to help. They're jumping back in. We can't lose the point here, or else they're going to start getting the tick percentage. So we're going to commit now. We want to get back on that point. We want to get it back in our favor. But we've lost the first, point takes in the past, but we won the fight. So that's our win con. That's what we want. We're going to get the rally out here. It's once you get an ult, you want to use it. In fights as even as this, the faster you get your ult off, the better. We want to get them off the point as soon as possible. Purdue wants this fight to take a while. They have the point percent ticking up. Gunfighter narrowly avoiding a bomb. The last bit of his shield health. Jackson has the high noon, but Diva's DM is available, so it could get eaten right here. He's going to get stunned by Briggs, so he's going to go down. And this is exactly the nightmare George Mason did not want. Now we've committed ults. We didn't contest the point at the beginning. And instead of Purdue getting the point right now and having that percentage tick up, they're already at 50. So we have a Torbjorn ult and a Coalescence, but I'm sure they have ults to match. And George Mason has to retake this point as Spam, which is a pretty tall order, but not impossible. Jackson's here on the Reaper to try to stop these tanks from diving in on our backline. And that might short away them enough for us to do enough poke damage. But since we don't have the McCree, we don't have as much poke damage. Always a trade-off here. The Molten Core committed. Diva's going to eat a lot of it, though. See what Jackson's up to. He's trying to harass the tanks. A lot of DM is going down. He might get forced out here, but he's being kept up. A lot of healing here coming out on Jackson. We got the rally again. It's not coming out yet. We want to win without it, if we can help it, because there's going to be a lot of fights after this. It's going to be 2-0. Get the pick on Brig with his turret. We're going to commit that rally. We think that this fight could be a little bit too close. Kill the Diva before it demechs. to another pick. It's on the Winston this time. Numbers are down for Purdue. We're going to get this point. A close fight. George Mason very smart, making the picks they need in order to retake this point. Not running their heads into the wall. Or whatever. There's an expression for that. Not just like banging their heads against the wall like, make this comp work. So they're making some intelligent swaps here. Still got that Torb. Always a fun pick. It's actually very, very good on King of the Hill, especially against Tracer, but they still have that, and Echo. It's not really good at long-range shooting Echo, but he's landing some shots. Okay, so Sigma ult committed, but Opio and Gunfighter are down. Tua gets to pick on the enemy Brig, so it's 5v4, or it's, 5v4 Overwatch. Jackson's still alive. He needs to stay up to take out these tanks. He demexed the D.Va. It's very close, but their Winston's getting 2 picks, so this fight is not looking too good for George Mason here. Matthew's going to go down as well. It's going to be Gunfighter here. Going to get that last touch here. His job is to stay alive here. So the longer he can stay alive, the better. We get more chances to stall at this point and not lose the first map. Jackson at 3 health is going to live and stall a little bit longer. We have ball on the point. He's going to get the anti. Takes a lot of CC. Really Bird. Also doing his best to stall. George Mason is pretty good at it, but it's not going to be enough. So George Mason is going to lose the first map to Purdue. However, this is some pretty close Overwatch. Once George Mason took University, or Library, was it Library? University. They held that really well. So we can see some strengths on both sides of this game. Is this nanoed or is it not? Is it just Echo? No, that's just Brig. Do you see an Ana in the kill feed? They were running Ana. I don't remember. I called that a nano at first. Either way. It's going to be a hybrid coming up next. No, sorry, payload. So it's George Mason's pick. We'll see what they pick in just a minute. Hang on tight. All right, it was a quick break. We're back on Junkertown. If you missed it, the last match against UMN, their B team, University of Minnesota, the Burrito Bandits. We had I think they picked Junkertown, and we ran it pretty well. So we saw a Widow. I forget what Jackson was playing. I don't know if this is what we saw on offense or not. No, it is. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I feel like everyone here's got to know. Junkertown has some really long sight lines, and Widow's going to be great here. in the last match. 2-0 popped off, landing shot after shot. Just pulverizing the enemy team. Off on the flank. Here he is now. Looking for the enemy Widow, who had the shield they needed to get an initial shot off. 2-0 landing one there. Not securing the kill just yet. But I'm sure we'll get it soon enough. Jackson looking to take some space. It's their Sigma that's on the flank. We're getting the cart push, though. Their Sigma's awfully close to 2-0, so Opio's going to move up, try to push that out. He's going for another grapple shot. His eyes are on the Zen, but he gets taken out. George Mason down one number. They're looking to push in, though, because they have the Mercy res. And if we can convert this into numbers up, which we do, actually it's even. It's 5v5. Unfortunately, Matthew went down on the point while 2-0's getting that amazing pick on the enemy Echo. They have no res for it, though. Matthew has a closer spawn than the enemy team. Sorry, 2-0, missed a shot there. Jackson not able to completely get in just yet. He's looking to follow up the pools, but they haven't quite all landed. Enemy pool coming in. We have the window coming up. It's going to be a lot of damage out for George Mason. We want to make sure we take good advantage of this. So the Immortality also committed. SMG time for 2-0. His eyes are on the Widow, where they need to be. It's going to go down, though. So it looks like the Zen, Widow, and Orisa were a little bit too much for George Mason there on the point. A bit of a sloppy fight, unfortunately. But it's not our last. We still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We can make it work as long as we stay confident. 2-0. Taking the sight lines he needs. He sees the enemy Zen. Is Zen smart enough not to peek here?
No one can hide from my
Sights are out. Sorry, you can't see it too much because of Purdue's colors. But it's still visible. Enemy window coming out. Matthew forced to fall back and use Fortify. Our Immortality also down. We're moving back, waiting it out, regrouping, waiting for our cooldowns to come back up. In the meantime, Gunfighter does get picked. Zen gets a pick on our main tank. Matthew's down. Opio did commit the Graviton Surge, getting a kill and forcing the trance, though, so this is pretty good. Opio's not going to be able to do enough here. He's going to have to fall back. Maybe we're going to keep him up on the rotation here. Doesn't take too much spam damage. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. George Mason trying to stay confident. Looking for anyone on the flank here, Matthew. Going for a pool. 2-0 not getting enough value. Unfortunately, enemy Widow has been giving him a few issues here. Opts not to take the stool or take it from a different angle. These shields are being also problematic for him. Wow, Jackson gets taken down real quick. Gunfighter with a cheeky res. Gets it. Oh, doesn't get it off. They're going to use the bongo. Echo ult down. Okay, so that wasn't their actual bongo. We got 40 seconds remaining. George Mason really needs this first point take. Once we get first, second, and third, just kind of follow along on Junkertown. People don't usually get stopped on second point unless they have trouble dealing with the high ground, but a coordinated team can handle it. 2-0 going on the same flank again. He's looking for this enemy Widow. Hopefully his team's calling it out. He's landing some shots. There's the Widow. There's the headshot we need. No res to bring it back. We still have ours. Jackson getting picks of his own. He's off on the flank. He's going to harass and damage this bat. His Zen's his target. Has the reflect come up just in time. Cancels it, though. It's going to be the enemy Zen ult that's back up. This is looking bad for George Mason. We got a little bit cocky there in the end. Committing on top of the Zen and the Immortality when maybe we shouldn't have. Very unfortunate. Not what we wanted to see at all. 2-0 started that very strongly, bringing down the enemy Widow. We pushed in, but didn't calculate that Immortality and Trance would keep up their team when we did not have those available. I think we might have had Immortality available because they're still on BAP. But we didn't have Trance. We just switched to Zen off of off of Mercy. No anti need to stop it. Genji jumping in with no cooldowns. Had the reflect, but just didn't land the kill on Zen. I don't know what happened to 2-0 in that fight, though. Might have gotten spammed out. I feel like he had enough range. I wish Blizzard let you watch replays if you're in spec. I can't go back and watch, unfortunately. Only players get to.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Why am I here?
George Mason had a stellar defense here against UMN. It's going to be a lot on 2-0's plate to perform just as well as their Widow did. Landing a headshot already. Shield rotations are looking strong. 2-0's on the rotation though, so he's out of the fight for a little bit. George Mason intelligently backing up here. Opio getting low, has been discorded. We're watching the flanks. Opio. Great opportunity. Flanking here with Early Bird on the top left. We saw it a lot last map. Worked again here. 2-0 getting free reign right now while the enemy Widow is down. But it's going to be Opio and Early Bird still on this flank. What? There he is. Getting forced back here. Now that Jackson's gone, Purdue's going to have some spawn advantage here. They're not pushing the cart just yet, though, so we have a little bit of time. All right, they're on it now. 2-0. Looking for picks. Ducking. Trying to avoid some headshot damage as he gets pulled. Going for more shots. Pulled, not connecting with anyone just now. He's focused on the turret, doesn't get punished for it. Gets it down. The Discord is allowing us to get a lot of damage on the enemy Orisa. However, it's kept up. Opio and Early Bird still protecting this right side from any flanks. That is a dangerous window. But we have walls. 2 is safe from the enemy Widow for now. Doesn't have to take that duel if he doesn't want to and get some very nice pick on the enemy Zen. Oh my goodness. That is a scary Torb. Not so scary anymore. Matthew's like, yeah, you're not scary. 2 thanking Matthew for his services. And just like that, 2 minutes left are on the clock. George Mason doing a great job. So, wow. That shot out of the grapple takes down 2-0. We have a lot to worry about now with an enemy Widow. Free reign for now. We use the bongo to try to stall the enemy team a little bit. Gunfighter going for some cheeky right clicks on the enemy. Trance may need to be committed here, especially if it gets picked by Widow. There it is. He's saving it for this ult specifically. The Sigma ult could really damage the enemy team. Could damage your whole team by 50%. He goes for the duel. He gets it. Jackson's going to need to jump on this point. Early Bird is going to be the only one that's able to protect him. He goes down. Jackson stalling for his team as long as he can. He's going to be taken down here. Gunfighter, a good rollout onto the point. Opio and Matthew, the tanks for George Mason, are able to get onto this point. Matthew getting some boop damage. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Purdue had some nifty spawn advantage there. George Mason, unfortunately, losing their staggered fight at the end. Purdue winning it. Came down to that one fight difference. That's how neck and neck these teams are, despite the score telling you maybe a slightly different story. It's 2-0 Purdue. Looks like the Zen stopped us on that last push, unfortunately. So it's going to be a hybrid map next. Perhaps King Row. That was also strong for George Mason. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. George Mason opting for the Kings Row pick. Full hold last time. Definitely a map they're going to feel confident on. A lot more comfortable. So I'm expecting the same spam comp that we saw earlier. Bring up this volume a little bit. So George Mason, if you're just tuning in now, the scores are on the top of your screen. Unfortunately, we have no map wins currently, but definitely some close fights. Oasis was lost 1-2, and what was it? Junkertown were both first point holds, them winning on the last fight. All right, let's get into the action here. We're probably on full spam. Yep. Well, what's meta right now? Brig is a bit of a brawl character. They're back on that Echo again. Off on the left flank here. 2-0 staying main, trying to get some flanks. Very important for him to land his dynamite. Oh, get this damage onto the enemy team. However, the other team is woke to his positioning. Taking him out now. George Mason not able to get an advantage. It would be very bad here if they were engaged on and lost this fight, giving up the ult charge. We're committing. Matthews Fortify getting a lot of value. However, it's not enough. They had Echo up and we had our Ashe down. Might not have been George Mason's best idea to commit there, but perhaps there was no way out. Just a team with a dream. But no Ashe. You need an Ashe to dream, George Mason. But we're going to have it on our next fight, as well as a window up already. Bird getting a lot of healing as well as damage. Hopping inside of Hotel yet again. We're setting up the window here. Getting the damage. There's the pool. It gets eaten, unfortunately. We still have immortality up, though. There's the Genji Blade. It's stopped. It's the Echo that had it. It's not the real Genji. I know you were fooled. Gonna Brig ult. A lot of damage going into both teams here. 2-0 able to dodge the rock. Sending in Bob. We have Early Bird caught in the Sig ult. He goes down. Healing lost for George Mason. They're gonna get their Bob up. So it looks like they've sustained long enough to get their ult in the fight. George Mason not able to clean up fast enough. George Mason slightly afraid that they're getting sloppy in the late fight. You need to remember to stay focused. Every fight's winnable. No such thing as a drive push. There's always a way to play around ults. Gotta remember that here. They're gonna have the pool. They're gonna look to Sigma ult here. Sigma stays safe. Not getting CC'd. It's Jackson with the blade. Killing them high before they get a chance to drop down into the immortality. Very well played by George Mason here. This is the point they need to get their courage back up. Kings Row first point take. No chance at a recontest here. Getting some space on Shriek's phase. That's nearly 4 minutes back on the clock. Purdue looking to get some early push onto George Mason here, but they are getting caught with their tail between their legs. Maybe not. They're able to stay alive. Window gets shut down by Early Bird. Backfired when a shield went in front of the window and an Ashe was caught high ground. Or not our Ashe, but their Ashe went high ground on the right side. Right above the mega room. That's okay, we're back on the cart. Getting through this choke should be pretty easy. They didn't get a chance to really push at it. Jackson getting close to the blade, but it's going to be 2-0 with the Bob. A pull thrown up. Bob not committed just yet. We see a Bongo, though. We want to contest them as much as we can. They have the Echo's response. A Bongo is very hard to deal with. But if you kill the enemy Orisa, it will go away. But it's too much in the health pool of Purdue to deal with. So they're going to win that fight too. Still 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here. Shriek's phase, second point of Kings Row. Getting some damage into the shield. Trading pools. 2-0 getting a good dynamite here, but he's taking some damage. George Mason forced into unoptimal positions. When the window came out, they needed to take cover around the left side. Then a Sigma ult lifted them up. So a lot of cooldowns forced by George Mason because of that combo. We're not able to retaliate, but we do get our Sig ult of our own. And if we win this fight, the cart might be pushed up just enough that we might be able to take the whole point. Usually if it's around this corner. If it's in that second part of the streets, you're pretty good to go, but I'm afraid it might be too far back. There's the pool. Sigma's ulting. Looks like Sig doesn't have rock to stop it. Oh, he does! However, Echo already goes down to it. Genji here, not getting value off of his blade, but he stays alive, so he's able to get a lot of damage in. Well played by Jackson and the rest of George Mason here. George Mason, very disciplined in how to use their ults. They know exactly how to put these together to get a fight win. Purdue's been a little crafty on trying to use just a few of their ults to win the fight. George Mason not messing around. They know if we just combo these together, be patient, we can win these fights. And it looks like, oh my gosh, we were very close to taking that point. Like I said, the cart was just a little bit far backwards. Looks like Gunfighter actually put a health pack into the bomb to keep it up just a little bit longer. We're going to commit. We really want this fight. It would be terrible to be held here. So we're not messing around. Got to commit that rally. And that's a point take for George Mason. So we actually get, I think we charge our ults a little more than we used ults. This is what you want to see in ult economy. In the rotation of ults. We saw the bongo in the rally, but we're able to charge up for our other ults during that fight. So if we can use that to our advantage. Opia's not in the fight yet, so these pools can't be followed up as much. Dynamites can still be thrown into them. 2-0 narrowly dodging the TNT shot. Matthew getting a pick. A lot of damage on this Echo. They're going back. Matthew getting a pool. Not quite landing on anything significant, just the enemy Orisa. It looks like we're going to just back out here. It's a fight loss. Only the window committed there. So we still have a minute left. Third point looking very possible. George Mason cleaning up their act. Guess what? We have the combo. It's Sigma and Blade time. Let's look for Matthew to get a very good pool. He sees it. They're very close together. There's the Sigma ult and the Genji Blade. Immortality is going to keep them healthy for the time being, but George Mason has the immortality of their own, and guess what? Purdue does not have the ult to stop it. Jackson popping off here. George Mason, well coordinated. They're going to get this with some time. Pick on the enemy Lucio to seal the deal. 22 seconds left. Guaranteed another chance if Purdue gets 3 points. But George Mason's defense has been looking really strong, and that's undeniable. Look at any of the maps here. When we saw Oasis University, as soon as they got that point, they held it. They held it for a really long time. When they got, what was it? When they got, no, wait. Was it? Yeah, it was University. In City Center, we had a really good chance on. Held in the front for a little while. But more importantly, Junkertown was looking really clean on the defense until the last fight, until it started getting close to overtime. All the maps we saw earlier today against, what was it? UMN Burrito Bandits was a full hold on Kings Row. You're making me dizzy, Jackson. Can I just watch someone who's relaxed, chill? Opia's chill. Chill dude. We're running the same comp. We have the calm before the storm. 10 seconds left until Purdue initiates their first attack on George Mason here. The men in green defending this point. Gunfighter watching the high ground without revealing himself, making sure there's no enemy Widow. 15 seconds into the match, we'll see their team on the top. It looks like we're going to see them all here now. It is a mirror match. They're running Zen, though. And Echo. It's a little bit different here. They're opting to go through Hotel as well, but I think we're a little bit more brawly than them. Yeah, Zen easily gets picked off here. Jackson. Oh, he's this way. Jackson getting all the damage he wants to in here. He just, like, left shifts right through Hotel, and it's, like, bound to hit, like, at least 3 people. Not to mention where those right clicks are going to land as well. Even though, too, it doesn't even have sightlines inside of Hotel, he's able to help as well with his dynamite. There's the dynamite in the wrong place here. That's okay. Sorry, Purdue pushing in here. They're getting a lot more damage than we are. Window a little bit too far forward, but we're pushing into it. Well played. Tua's still on this high ground. No, Tua's on the right side. Sorry. Looking to pick off this Echo. Tua has not been dealt with. He has 2 shots left, though. So he has to reload here. It's up to Early Bird to help him as he reloads. I don't know. He had some bullets. Might not have been what he wanted. It's a little bit faster take for Purdue than it was for Mason. They have to commit a lot of ults on both sides. Windows both used. I believe Echo ult was used. We're coming up on Bob, though, in Rally. So some real nice ults, as well as Bongo to hold this choke. Dynamite shut down. George Mason, ours as well. Ash on the high ground. Lands a shot on 2-0 and another. We retaliate. No Ashes in these fights. We're looking to brawl inside of them. Matthew not afraid, however, he gets punished. This Immortality and Trance committed is able to stop the blade. Unfortunately, Jackson maybe bladed a little bit early because we're able to get out the Immortality before they landed. Could have forced Trance and they could have waited. They were a little bit patient for the Trance to be over to force that blade. So that seems to be why Purdue is running the Zen after all, because when we Sigma ult them up and we go for the blade, it can be completely shut down by a Trance. 2-0 really needs to not get picked here. He gets back out. We're going to get another chance at holding second point. 2-0. Definitely a force to be reckoned with so far on this defense. Landing a huge TNT. He's looking to Bob. That's coming out immediately. Shots not landing on the enemy Ash. He's in trouble, though. The Bob is behind him. He's getting shots into this window. They're forced into the Sigma ult. A lot of members down for George Mason. But Jackson's getting picks. Oh my gosh, where's Jackson? He goes down, though. They forced the Bongo afterwards. So 2 fights lost on second point, Kings Row. It's going to be a long clock. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but third point, probably one of the easier points to hold. The chokes aren't as ridiculous as first. The high ground is not as advantageous. As you can see, for defense, we actually have lower ground than the offense, except for this phase where we have even ground. Oh, my keyboard turned off. Weird. All right, we have the rally. Rally helps us win any brawl. The armor pack stops a lot of the poke damage from the enemy team, especially burn. We're rallying in. Window also committed. No defensive ults from Purdue coming out just yet. We're looking for more picks on the side. Gunfighter trying to stay up, keep his team as well. Sigma ult committed. I don't know if this is necessary. We're getting a little cheeky far into Purdue's side of the map. So now we have Blade, naked and afraid without the Sigma ult to aid him. Early Bird goes down. There's a pool. There's the enemy window, but we're able to zone it unless we get pulled into it. Gunfighter in trouble. He's on the point. Goes down. Get a pull on the enemy Sigma, but it's time to run for George Mason. Early Bird able to help out his team here. We want another hold. 2-0 has Bob. It's probably going to be the way we start this fight. If we can get this onto the point and stall for a little bit of time, especially into the pool. They got Sigma on the high ground. We got to watch out for his Sigma ult now. 2-0 going for the duel. It's the immortality committed. We get pulled into it. This is looking really bad for George Mason. And that's going to be 2 minutes and 30. Oh, time went up. Oh, yeah, both time goes up. 1 minute for George Mason, 3 minutes for Purdue.
Score 3-3. Switching sides.
George Mason needs to get hungry for the win. Nothing fundamentally wrong with the play as far as I can tell. The echo's been an issue though. In the past we've picked McCree to help deal with the echo. Ash usually does fine. Looks like we might mirror them. If we think we can run it better, we're the better team, then we should be able to win it. Unfortunately, we've really only been practicing strict meta, which means Brig. And then there's a reason this works, right? I don't think Blade Sigma ult will always be our win con. If we can decide that now and have a win con to either force out the trance, kill the Zen before blading, or Sigma ult and quickly kill that immortality. But the problem is he could throw immortality right before they land, and there won't be a way to kill it. So we gotta kill BAP in the air. It's a tall order, but I think George Mason can handle it here. We're going into hotel. Everyone's on this mission now, including 2-0, opting not to take a crossfire main. So this is somewhat mixed up. Purdue, who has their Ashe on the high ground. Our immortality's down though. We're getting shots onto the Ashe and Echo, but none of them are landing. Echo is able to put a lot of damage into George Mason, but not before George Mason's able to, well actually, I was gonna say not before George Mason gets a pick on the enemy Orisa. Jeez, only 10 seconds left, so Gunfighter's on the Lucio. Opio needs to charge under the point, so he's going a character that's a little bit faster. We need a touch. There's the touch. We're on it. Immortality and a window. This is looking good for George Mason, except Zen's on the flank. And a lot of damage is on the front. George Mason now unable to win this map, but we are able to draw it. If we draw it, then we move on to the next maps like this never happened. And Purdue will be up 2-0. We had a good defense, though. Still possible, folks. Give George Mason your energy. Three minutes is what, less than you normally get on an offense. I think you get 4. So Purdue was able to take it in less time than that, though. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock when they took it. Their first attempt, which is 1 minute 30. We have to double that time if George Mason wants to stay in Tespa playoffs. George Mason, if they win the next 3 maps, after drawing this one, we'll move on to tomorrow's match against Maryville. Not the best thing to look forward to, but scholarship money is a nice thing to look forward to. So Jackson here is on the Ashe now, and 2-0 is on the Echo. We're mixing things up. We'll see how good 2-0's Echo is. He's in Ashe's sightlines now, but not taking much damage. He's discorded out in the open. Unfortunately, bad positioning from 2-0. But we're going to push into this. We need to win it. We need to win this fight in order to stay in the game. Otherwise, they'll just win with numbers advantage. So forcing it now. Gunfighter's able to get a pick. He gets another one. Finally taking down. It's Jackson landing a big pick for himself, but George Mason out of members. 2-0 not able to touch that point again. It was a Hail Mary play. Maybe they could have won it with what they normally did, but it was only a minute 30 with what they did before. So, a Hail Mary play. George Mason, unfortunately, not getting a scholarship this year, but it's another respectable top 16. George Mason has consistently beginning for, this would be the 4th year. The only season we did not get top 16 was fall of 2017. But what was it? We've gotten top 4 in fall top 16 in fall 2016. Spring 2017 was it was laid out different than the normal playoffs. There was like a bi-weekly tournament. We got a top 16 in one of those. Fall 2018, fall 2019. Or actually, those are springs. We got top 16 in those. And again, in spring 2020, George Mason ends the season losing to Purdue, a tough 3-0 loss, but securing another top 16 title in North America. Includes Mexico and Canada, of course, our bordering countries. That's all we have for today. I'm going to go congratulate the team. And make sure you give our new, or I guess this isn't a new, GMU Esports a follow. We're having a restructuring of the program. So there's a lot for George Mason. There's a lot for George Mason Overwatch's future here. Getting support finally from the college. And we'll see what we make of that in the coming semesters. We'll get some new freshmen as well. Don't think too many people are graduating, so it's a bright future for George Mason. So our story does not end here. So we'll see you guys in the coming semesters. So make sure to follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, GMU Esports with an _. And we'll catch you guys next season. Make sure to join the Discord as well, the GMU Esports. It's been a pleasure casting with you guys. I hope you had fun watching. I know I did. And we got some good dubs in today. So we'll take those home. We won't forget it. And we'll learn from everything. Because that's what it's all about, you know? I know. Okay. Peace out, everybody. Congratulations, George Mason Overwatch, on your top 16. And good luck, Purdue, in your next games.